Land, the United States should significantly reduce its military presence in the Arab states of the Persian Gulf, continue to monitor terrorism, a large U.S. military footprint in the Middle East, increase its terrorist recruitment, and stops necessary diplomatic efforts to make counter-terror efforts effective. Posing. And 14, an omnipresent U.S. makes it easier to others to blame the U.S. like to the U.S. became to the field of the revolution at home. They came to the Middle East, the Persian U.S. on the Middle East, the groups are self-identified the Al-Qaeda emerging on the Middle East, and our elusive organization, over 200 million Arabs, with limited control support of the key challenging continuing to see people exacerbating anti-Western global diplomacy, several political conditions, the intelligence cooperation with each of their own countries. The U.S. should operate from a distance of a small special operation. The air Georgia should be preferred. Diplomacy as needed to organize co-op and to effective attitudes of policy. The U.S. must show it's not the enemy of the Islamic world. The campaign must not put more evidence into their hands and great strategy for trying to contribute to CT to the U.S. Need to avoid military action not only centrally against the government of the U.S. is not better than expansion of this going to help exploit Canada's own violent access to political harm to the organization logical U.S. multi presence that energizes political opposition, restraint with limited deployments to minimize the political risk, and that coordination is key to solving ISIS. Lister 15. The measure to solve ISIS growth and defeat administrative terrorist organization of those who incorporate counterterrorism and will require local actors taking the support of the Western state, the Western policies, isolate armed opposition, so long as opposition groups not receive military assistance, and ISIS would benefit assistance to aid in moderating Islamist group. Background of the Gulf states and best studies prove that presence causes blowback and motivates attack right away. And 15 terrorist organizations respond to territoriality. Foreign troops of these disputes are likely to escalate and overseas activities against terrorism because the active state foreign military operation promotes violent response to the efforts to maintain an unpopular regime to plan to signal levels of anti-U.S. attacks. The U.S. Europe's domestic beats and disputes and it's all of the target terrorism violence as a result of military support of active countries and experience greater levels of terrorism in the countries less after actors. It ought to be easy for terrorist group to get justified force and respond to foreign troops or terrorists are likely to employ attrition to persuade the government of Israel troops. Terrorists are employed large amounts of force against an interest in employed government, and many extremists is magnifying the risk of WMD terrorism. Now motive capability are increasing. Ackerman 14. Like jihadists being pursued WMD first ideology and those speed limits of violence don't even violate so jihadists seeking revenge against the infidel or past offensive rival jihadist groups survive for support and recruits WMD give large groups the first group to attain them. The most important result of the elections agreement to focus on increasing WMD side jihadists would grow higher over the longer term. Experts attributed to the diffusion of new tactics jihadist movements taking on the WMD leading curve. Learning curve. The current success supporting jihadists and new modes of attacking instability of states within states possessing weapons. Earlier this year, IS fighters seized uranium from Mosul, including some radioactive uranium isotopes used to make a crude radiological dispersal device. The IS has successfully tracking borders from private organizations with records of scientific expertise to highlight the role played by 50,000 foreign fighters, losing a handful of slightly educated scientists and engineers who join IS to bring the capabilities, increase the overall energy jihadists to be rational and taking into account the general factors like technological advancement and diffusion and risk of ISIS nuclear threat is real but high now. Budowski 14. ISIS will launch a major attack on the American soil. That's how probably ISIS will attempt to use money to obtain nuclear weapons. ISIS recruited national of the U.S. ISIS did detention attack to the U.S. and advanced ideology and interpolling. ISIS pulling off the nuclear 9/11 style attack is real and nuclear terrorists cause extinction. Helping an 8 nuclear terror, but the international likelihood of attack is significant. 85. National security experts found that attack involving nuclear explosion and occurring the next 10 years. The terrorism is the trigger for a school-scale nuclear explosion, ushering a nuclear war to the race. No safety from available nuclear exchange and devastating climatic consequences and critical terrorist studies are wrong. They are non-falsifiable and utopian. Jones and Smith and 9 searches for evidence to support the assertion that state ISIS with the biases and was not required of the evidence of retaliation from the perspective of dispense of terrorism study on proof station eccentricity is observed with platform unsubstantiated accusation. Challenge dominant understanding leads to a fixation with discourse to assault on the possibility of the fact that the functions not possibilities a substitute for real theory at the core. All violence is terrible. Therefore, states are terrorists. The only solution is conversation of this combined with the logical errors of permanent critical theory of events utopian agenda. There's approach to the nice possibility of politics and spiritual not a universal solution for pragmatic or self-reflection. Or already present in the existing terrorism study, the critical theories replicate the fall and understanding they criticize and threaten construction in terms of terrorist goods. Censorship includes prevention, right clock, and 10. But we call terrorism made up of a restriction on what we call the number of support of the people who free talk about repercussion when it comes to terrorism, restricting those they could lead to devastating results. We can't listen to yourself. The developing understanding the motivation we or providing insufficient education country experts for second use in terms like terrorists is not a good start, and our epistemology is good. Threat inflation would get our experts fired. Would get our experts fired. Ravenel 90 notion of security bureaucracies looking to enemies of the threat over the best of them. Threat inflation is why national security rules about the threat objectivity, the treatment of threats, and official behavior needs to be transparent. And peer review defense decision makers attempt to frame problems on the basis of the most accurate intelligence. Those threats are not socially constructed. People are fired for skewed analysis because something important is writing on the protection rent seeking would risk career termination. And contention 2 is framing. Debating about foreign policy is necessary to solve the global crisis provides an essential counterweight to government propaganda. that enables reckless foreign policy. Wall 11, there is no short global problems confronted within and between safe economic development, terrorism, climate change, and environmental degradation, great power drivers, and the spread of WMD. Governments will enjoy enormous information asymmetries, so the advantage to especially pronounced with their knowledge, given the asymmetries, the lab is to retain support of the leaders, improving access to information about telling our allies results of disaster, alternative voice, and need to challenge the conventional wisdom, and assistance for different solutions. Scholars are uniquely positioned to challenge prevailing narratives, bring the knowledge and training on vital policy issue debate, expose the area of the correct steps that are fostering moral effective public policy, sophisticated and engaged communities essential for healthy policy, highly desirable for scholars to play a role in public discourse or real world issues. Research can help policymakers to make sense of the emerging trends that the leaders used to choose among different policy instruments. Academic theories help policymakers anticipate and identify obstacles that facilitate policy alternatives because scholars are created with the daily responsibility of public affairs and ideal position to develop new concepts and policy relevant debate about military presence is critical, holding the government accountable. And 13, good deliberation highlights the need to scholars engage with specific policies without the engagement of the reality of terms of the policy used and possible engagement with the moral reality where the social critic must be involved with the practice spirit of the political engagement allows policymakers to be held accountable. Engagement in the political debate morally considered an alternative disengagement. Engagement is bring about theories and contact with policymakers require the workers relevant to policy. And policy relevance doesn't equate to co-option. It can be used to challenge the status quo, stoker, and tend the political science in pursuit of relevance and not be a technician of the state working part of their case into the political science side of part of the relationship they have not. Careful and detailed empirical study the variety of American academics have produced a sort of reformist or sophisticated radical like we've seen as the status quo and discussions of policy don't trade off with personal conventions that makes debaters stronger advocates. Hudson and 9, giving students the opportunity to confront more initiative and issue-based approach can form a basis where the students construct and to understand that the person would relevant to the parts of the opportunities asked of learning makes sense. Use issue and technology, contextualizing curriculum, and ethical policymaking must be grounded in consequences. Isaac and 2, and undeeply concerned with moral goodness, undercuts political responsibility. Here to use one's attention to ensuring the achievement of a woman's into the world of real violence and justice. Moral purity is publicity and justice. Politics is about the effects of action or the motives of action. The moral absolutism inhibits judgment on alienates those who are not true believers, promotes arrogance, and undermines political effectiveness. And violence is proximately caused. Cause logic is poor scholarship, sharp. And 10, a new manifest explain politics seem reductive of the master thinkers. The ones that take your pass under the salient deficit people on the ground. Political life is always more complex fair than full staring at the wall. Proponents of proper philosophy and utilizing account of everything. We have to show the one method we can single-handedly decipher the complexity of social political life and institutional act or political engagement is vital to solve. Global and 7, extra legal activism protects social form rejects formalization of the race of multiplicity of forms. There's a plan or no plan for the kitchen profession to get to the description of the fragmented efforts to new extra legal frames of the practice that generate very limited approval of existing arrangements of the counterparties that inherit the stability of the dominant structure point of the grassroots strategies of the specific is translated to the more complete transformation of this method engagement of scarce the actual lack of change being produced in the broader pattern produces false belief and the potential change. New social movements for the most part fail to sustain the coalition of the failures to do part of the ideas of contingency, pluralism, and localism, the stone bed of the current activism important with the next generation progressive legal scholars while maintaining critical legal consciousness to recognize all extra legal associated with life is transformative work or transformative and legal activism might not be perfect but it's better than the alt. Global and 7, arguments about co-option developed in response to the applicant ideal purpose of reform circle and it's accomplished for the opting out of the traditional reform only accentuated the problem of loose inside of the law versus the background of unregulated relationships since extra legal actions due to the actions of romantic ideals with the ability to develop tools for the development of necessary extra legal politics produce passive squo politics. They're not translated to specific vision. Activism produced in symbolic actions very little substantially centralized activism but other from conservative politicians means of replacing government programs and reality exists independent of discourse went in 99. Discourse to reality cannot account for the representation of those wanted to face the same epistemological problem. I'll refer people call themselves Spaniard, wanted to wrong. Spanish not God. They come to conquer are part of the external world penalizes representation. Most modern thinkers have no insight into why this is so. Meaning it's regulated by mind, independent, extra linguistic world, and pragmatism, the best heuristic. Practical 8, pragmatic question not begin with the ontology, epistemology, or the act as historical being based on placed in specific situation of the luxury and fragment system we have found the truth of the object. We have to and must do so. We have to act and must do so. Always under the compression of the face that included information systems is characterized by what a situation it is and puts group on diagnostic shortcuts and forming actions cannot rely on just generally sure that space specification to any particular case when are refused on the basis of incomplete information. Didn't read the last 2 cards.
Yeah. You got it? You good?
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. What, Luke?
I don't grumbling.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So your Badowski evidence says in the small text that aggressive action against ISIS is urgently needed. How does the after the evidence withdrawals prove?
Well, closing evidence talks about how whenever we decrease overall military presence, it causes a shift to like more diplomatic methods of like intelligence sharing with regional actors.
Sure. How is that aggressive action when your Badowski evidence also talks about how airstrikes saved thousands of cities from genocide and that is harming ISIS in status quo because it's helping Iraqis and Kurds and Syrians reading your card, and how airstrikes are inflicting material damage to ISIS now. How does the app not help ISIS by removing troops?
I wasn't finished. We also say that there's a shift to different kinds of forces that are like small strike teams as well as drone operations, along with the intelligence sharing, which would still strike key actors in ISIS. Not only that, but we don't
Okay, which
totally
piece
end
of
airstrikes.
evidence is that?
I'm sorry?
Which piece of evidence
The
makes
opposing
you
evidence?
shifting? Okay, is
The U.S. should operate from a distance. Small special operations
who-
or air or drone strikes should be the
does
preferred
the
option.
U.S. do that, or does someone else?
We say that we shift to a smaller force. We don't have overwhelming ground forces in the Arab states. Rather, we have small forces that help with regional actors who would become more prominent and then would be able to fight ISIS more effectively themselves with U.S. support and intelligence sharing.
Mhm. You also read on your framing contention, we'll say, that reality is constructed separate from discourse. So how is reality made? If it's not how we speak, how we think, what is reality?
Like, we would say that reality fundamentally is external of how we think about it or how we talk about it. There's always an objective world out that things are still occurring no matter how we characterize them. Like, for instance, ISIS grabbed uranium from Mosul. There is a possibility of a threat. It's a question of motivation. Like, just because we
So
talk
when
about
would that threat
terrorism,
occur? If they
doesn't
already
mean-
grabbed that uranium, when is it going to happen?
Well, we say it's a matter of recruitment of them getting particular experts in the field, which, given ISIS's recruitment and their potential to garner a large amount of support, it's a question of having the ability to engage in propagandizing against the United States to pull people into recruitment.
Sure. You also read
specifically to
evidence like
attacking
Badowski that says that they want to buy it and that there's motivation, but you never cite any instance of who would sell it to them. So why is there any reason that they would actually be able to have the experts to help them build a bomb?
Like, we're saying they have the
have a
capability,
successful
which means
attack.
that even if there's no specific seller identified in the card, there's still the potential for them to constantly try to push for it and all
Yeah,
of
but
that.
where's the
Like,
final step of there will be a successful attack that even Hellman isolates, or that it would lead to an extinction
So this can
scenario?
be contextualized by the Ackerman evidence as well as the Badowski evidence. The Badowski evidence says they have the means and the motive right now. Our internal link evidence says they have the motive now. And then the Ackerman evidence says it's specifically about getting people who have the experience and expertise to be able to build.
Yeah, but who are
a
these
weapon.
people who are actually going to go?
I'm sorry, I don't know every individual person that they might
They
recruit.
either do either.
Sorry, Beth.